Alright, so how did I get from here to here? My name is Sean, I'm learning piano. I've been doing it for about 8 months. And today I want to share with you my journey so far. I want to share 4 helpful tips, that have really been useful for me. And hopefully it will be useful for anyone. If you want to start a goal, maybe later on in life, like I have. Or if you want to learn piano, let's do this together. So tip number 1 is inspiration, motivation. You gotta have some sort of motivation. Something that drives you, just to sit down and start playing that piano. What drives you? What drives you? For me, it all started as a dream. That does make sense in context, you'll see. When I was younger, I played a game called Final Fantasy X. I remember getting up early every weekend and grinding an hour or 2. Reminds me of a simpler time. No responsibilities, just trying to save the world. So I remember it was a nice game, not too memorable, but recently I'd been thinking about the plot and something just grew on me. I watched speedruns of the game and delved further into the storyline, and eventually I just became fascinated. So when I heard the opening theme, it's like all the planets aligned and I said to myself, I have to play this song. And the rest is history. Not to spoil the plot too much, you play as the hero who lives in a beautiful metropolis and immediately whisked away into another world with no explanation. You find out this world is terrorized by this indestructible force known as sin, flying around and destroying things at its own will. You have to gather your party and find a way to destroy it. For me, the idea of something unbeatable and how people cope with that just resonates with me. So the theme song, to ZANARKAND, opens up on the ruins of a former glorious city, where our heroes have reached their final destination. But the song is unsettling, as if we're all unsure why we're here, and if what we're trying to do is even really worth it. I wanted to capture that feeling with my own hands and my own expression. This is what drove me to play piano, and thankfully I can play this song on my own now. My fingering isn't perfect, and I fumble a lot, but I'm a work in progress, and that's okay. So what's your motivation? Let me know in the comments. My next tip is probably the most challenging, but it's the simplest. Just start. You can start with anything. When I started, all I had was this bad boy. It's Casio from the 80s, and it was pretty cool. It sounded like, a cat dying. But it's a start. And you know what I learned on this? Quite a lot of stuff. The basic fundamentals, scales, chords, triads, and if I hadn't started, I'd have been nowhere. I've been waiting for this thing that I needed before I start. And it was just taking forever. I might not even have started. So sometimes you just have to take that inspiration. You just take that first dose of inspiration. Just take whatever you can start with and just go for it. Cool, hey? Guys, what's tip number 3? This might be the hardest pill to swallow. Practice, practice, practice. I signed up to an email listing that pretty much just gives tips of how to make money quickly and side hustles and all stuff like that. And it's just this message that people give us that you can just make money quickly, you can just do stuff quickly, get that instant fix. That's what we want. That's kind of how we've grown up. Everything's an instant fix. Everything's quick, a microwave. I can't even wait for like a pot to boil anymore. But the things that are really worth it take a lot of practice. Practice, practice, practice. There's so many resources out there. What did I use? I used a combination of Udemy courses. I used an app that came with this piano. I got 3 months worth of the Scuba app. I personally wouldn't use it, but I'm sure people would definitely find it very helpful. I looked at YouTube videos. I got music reading material. I looked up different things online. There's a lot of different ways to practice, but you just got to sit down and put in some time. And that's all you need to do. Practice. That's all you even need. 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. So for me, sometimes I just can't find time to do anything else. I'm passionate about piano right now. That could change. But every extra second I can get in, I'm just absolutely loving it. My family, not so much. But what can you do? The best thing about practice is that half the time it actually happens unconsciously. If I practice in the day and I feel like I've just hit a wall and I just can't get further, I just go to sleep, have a good night's rest. And the next day something's just happened to my fingers, something's just happened to my mind, and it feels so much easier. And I've come to terms with that. I've come to understand that that is all part of the practice. Consistency, and then there's some kind of subconscious thing we can't control that just works wonders. And I'm becoming in tune with that, So I encourage you to practice. And don't see it as a simple journey. It's a tough journey, but it's worth it. I'm absolutely loving the rewards. Okay, the last tip I can give you, at least for now, is when you're feeling down, it's okay. Let's feel comfortable with failure. Let's embrace failure. Not my stuff. Because we'll fail and then we'll just, grow from that. And that's kind of how it works. That is how it works. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. You're going to feel like you've just learned everything. The next day you feel like you can't even put two notes together, It's just going to feel very frustrating. Just all these constant ups and downs. You're going to be like, well, why am I even trying? What's going on here, And it's going to be tough. We'll improve. We'll always be improving. It's kind of like a memory leak. If you don't know what that is, basically if you have an app, and the app uses resources from your phone or from your computer, and when it's done doing what it does, it gives those resources back. But let's say it takes 100 megabytes of resources and just gives back 98 megabytes of resources, meaning it's still holding on to 2 megabytes even though it's doing nothing. And that slowly is going to increment until eventually all the memory is gone and your computer crashes. But that's kind of like how we need to improve, how we need to grow, because we feel like we're just going to make tremendous progress and then we lose that 98 megabytes. We just feel so discouraged. We feel like we haven't done anything. Our hands don't work properly and it feels like we just have made no progress whatsoever. But that's fine because we made that 2 megabytes, that 2%. And then we're going to get another 100 and lose another 98, and then we're going to get 4. And then another 100, lose another 98 and get 6. And then over time, it's just going to grow and grow and grow. And then a year later, you're going to look back and you'll be like, how did I ever not be able to do this? Some people call it unconscious competence. You're not even thinking. You can close your eyes and do it. And I've seen it. I actually went back to a piece that I tried about 4 months ago. And there was this weird fingerings in some measures. And I just saw them again and I'm like, oh, it's actually so easy. And that only happens because, it's incremental improvement, even if we don't see it right now. So stick around. Well, thank you. Those are the tips that I got. I hope you enjoyed my song. And if you enjoy my channel, you want to watch The Underdog, then please subscribe. And I would greatly appreciate that. Till next time. See ya.